that would allow us to then be what I like to call this little amoeba that would show up at the fields for practice night, and everybody would be on a different practice field based on their age. And then on Saturday, we're all at the fields all day. Everybody stays for their siblings' games, and we just did everything together. Some parents may feel like, okay, we started homeschooling, but now we're taking care of all these extracurricular activities, and I feel like we're in the van all the time. We're late to every activity. We leave early from that activity to try to get to the next one on time, and everybody's exhausted and worn out. So you need to ask yourself, how can we be more intentional as a family to make this work for us? Well, one of the first things you can do is to say no to certain things. So we had 7 kids. We could have been crazy if everybody was doing 3 or 4 activities that were different from each other. So we always limited our kids to 1 to 2 activities. And specifically, if it was a sport activity, we were all doing the same sport. Mm-hmm. So we might give the older kids, okay, here's the deal. You can either do cross country, soccer, or volleyball. Take your pick. Okay, we'd like to do soccer. All right, that's what you did last season. You guys love soccer. Let's do that again. Guess what? Everybody else in the family is doing soccer. And that would allow us to then be what I like to call this little amoeba that would show up at the fields for practice night, and everybody would be on a different practice field based on their age. And then on Saturday, we're all at the fields all day. Everybody stays for their siblings' games, and we just did everything together. We didn't divide and conquer and go separate ways, and we weren't ships passing each other in the night. And so the best decision we made on this topic, to being intentional about it, was that we said we're going to limit things, and so that we can do it all together.
Amen. That's a great idea. We had some other friends who they have 6 kids, and they made that same decision for their family early on. And now that their kids are older, they're dabbling in some different things. But especially when their kids were young, they said, if we don't all do it together, it's not getting done, because it can get so overwhelming. It's so funny when people still talk about homeschooled kids and socialization, and, they're not socialized. I'm like, man, homeschooled kids today, we're trying to just stay home to actually school. I mean, there just are so many opportunities, whether within the homeschooling world or even outside of it. And so, something like soccer, of course, is probably through the county or your city or whatever, whatever league you're playing for. But there are tons of opportunities, and it can get overwhelming. You can find yourself so busy that you're actually too socialized and not able to stay home and do the work that.
Oh yeah, like you said, there are more than enough activities to choose from.
Yeah,
and the key was to limit what we're going to do, what we're not going to do, so that okay, on Tuesday night, that's the out night where we have soccer practice. We're all doing that, but we're not out every night of the week,
right?
And we're not out at 100 different locations. Especially in the years before any kids can drive. After they can drive, it helps quite a bit when they can drive themselves or drive siblings. But even then, you want to be real careful not to be doing so much that you're stressed or that your kids are stressed, because God has given us only a certain amount that we can handle before we have too much on our plate. And the same is true for kids.
Homeschool Insights is sponsored by CTC Math. If you're looking for a great online math program, visit ctcmath.com and try it for free. For more great homeschool inspiration and resources, listen to the Schoolhouse Rocked podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday.